Welcome to Hunter Beyond Time and Space Chapter 60. I'm back. At dusk, Qin Chen bought a new pressure cooker because it was necessary to cook beef. The small house on Xingshu Road has been neglected for too long. The pressure cooker has been leaking and the washing machine is also broken. Now that he has obtained gold from the inner world, he naturally wants to exchange it for something new. As he was about to leave the electronics market, he suddenly saw a higher washing machine on sale. Qin Chen hesitated for a moment, but ultimately decided not to buy it. At this moment, Wang Yun and Bai Weiner were visiting Jiang Shui's house. This time, the two of them did not buy any fancy gifts like champagne or whiskey. Instead, they followed Hu Xiaonu's instructions and bought some vegetables and brought them to the door. When Jiang Shui was cooking, the two of them acted like big sisters and watched cartoons with Li Tongyun. Just as the episode of Wang Wang's Special Agent Team finished airing, Wang Yun smiled and asked Li Tongyun, "Little friend, can I ask you a question?" Li Tongyun obediently replied, "Can I have some candy if I answer the question?" Of course, Wang Yun quickly took out a chocolate from her pocket and handed it to her. "Is this okay?" Li Tongyun smiled and said, "Thank you, sister. I love eating chocolate." "Then, let me ask you, is Qin Chen like your mother, a time traveler?" "The really cool kind," Wang Yun asked after thinking for a moment. Li Tongyun looked puzzled and shook her head. "I don't know." "Have you ever asked him?" Bai Weiner asked. She felt that Li Tongyun's reaction was normal. If the other person had firmly denied that Qin Chen was a time traveler, then they would have to doubt it. And, how could a 10-year-old child lie? Li Tongyun pondered for a moment and said, "I did ask Qin Chen, but he didn't say whether he was a time traveler or not. He just told me that instead of thinking about unrealistic time travel, it's better to study hard and go to a good university." "What else did he say?" Wang Yun asked. "He said that those time travelers aren't anything special." Li Tongyun obediently ate the chocolate and said. White Weiner and Wang Yun looked at each other with a hint of joy in their expressions. Actually, Li Tongyun didn't directly answer them, but they already knew the answer. If Qin Chen was really a time traveler, how could he say, "Time travelers aren't anything special"? This was more like jealousy and envy in a certain context, as well as a kind of comfort to oneself. At this time, Bai Weiner also took out a piece of chocolate from her pocket and touched Li Tongyun's head. "Little Yun is so good." After saying goodbye to Jiang Shui, they left the house. Only when the door closed did Li Tongyun silently spit out the chocolate in her mouth into the trash can and roll her eyes towards the sky. In fact, she didn't like the taste of chocolate. Dad used to like to buy her chocolate, but ever since she saw Dad hit Mom, she had developed a deep hatred for the taste. However, she still had a piece of chocolate in her pocket, but she pretended as if nothing had happened. Late at night, Qin Chen had just returned home when he heard a knock on the door. He opened the door and let Li Tongyun step inside. "What's up? Why are you here?" Li Tongyun looked at the packaging of the pressure cooker he had just opened. "You can let your mother help you cook beef. My family has a pressure cooker, and my mother's beef is very delicious." "It's okay, I can handle it myself," Qin Chen smiled. "Here, for you." Li Tongyun stuffed the chocolate in her pocket into his hand and said, "Those two sisters came to ask me today if you were a time traveler. Don't worry, I helped you out, but be careful, they must have suspected something because of some details." "Okay," Qin Chen knew it was because of the foreign teacher's incident. "Where did you get this chocolate?" Li Tongyun said with a straight face, "I bought it for you, as a gift." "Thank you," Qin Chen smiled. Since Li Tongyun had helped him, Qin Chen also gave her some information in return. "From what I observed, those people did provoke some enemies in City 7, a person named Chen Liu, who should be from the Chen family. So they ran so far away from City 7 to escape from the Chen family's control, Li Tongyun pondered, but I don't want this kind of information. What do you want then? Qin Chen was curious. I want to know your identity, Qin Chen. Li Tongyun blinked her eyes. No, Qin Chen rejected her flatly. Then, Qin Chen, can you help me with my homework? Li Tongyun looked at him with her eyes. No, Qin Chen refused. He was already a grown-up, how could he do such an unproductive thing? Really boring. Li Tongyun felt a little sorry. Qin Chen, these people are always staring at us. Can't we think of a way to drive them away? It's not easy to drive them away, and it may even expose ourselves, Qin Chen said, and, I always felt that these 4 people could be useful. It's true that being suspected by others was troublesome, but trying to cover it up was not suitable. The best way was to shift the focus. The other party came because of Lu Dezhu, so naturally, Lu Dezhu had to divert their attention back to him. It was not just about diverting their attention, but also about the money and power that he desperately needed from the outer world. It seemed that he had to have a good chat with Lu Dezhu this time. By the way, Qin Chen, there are a few more days until National Day. Let's go out and play. Li Tongyun looked at him expectantly. Qin Chen was a little puzzled. Why did you suddenly mention going out to play? I have to think about it. Let's talk about it in a few days. Okay, you must think about it, Li Tongyun said happily as she went upstairs. Late at night, Qin Chen was practicing his breathing technique while listening to Japanese language tutorials on his phone. In the remaining time of the countdown, there was no longer any turbulence in the outer world. It seemed as if the world had suddenly become quiet, and everyone was waiting for the next time travel, waiting for He Xiaoxiao's group chat preparation to be completed. During this period, Qin Chen had been paying attention to the case of illegal detention. The 9 fugitive suspects were still at large, which was probably why everyone remained silent. Everyone was afraid for their own safety. Countdown 10 seconds. In the final moments, Qin Chen put the USB drive with the copied endgame chess game into his mouth, and at the same time, held a kitchen knife in his right hand as he activated his breathing technique. He silently waited for the world to shatter and darkness to descend. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. The darkness came and went, and Qin Chen opened his eyes to see Li Shutong and Yuan still standing in front of him, as if he had never left. Li Shutong smiled, back already? Yes, Qin Chen nodded, I'm back. He noticed that the kitchen knife in his hand was now only a handle. This experiment was effective, at least he now knew how much he could carry. Thank you for listening to this episode of the audio novel, The Timeless Hunter. If you enjoy this channel, click subscribe for more fascinating English audio novels. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, turn on notifications, or share on social media below so you can find this channel again. Let us know your thoughts. See you next time.